great view, and it's spoiled a little bit today by a sea fret. That's where I'm going, just round that corner. What a gorgeous day. As you can see, I finally got away in the van. Mind you, it is July. This is the latest start I've ever had. And it wasn't actually planned. It was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. So, weather forecast was looking good and wasn't doing anything spectacular. So, chucked some things in the van and off I went. Look at that view. This is actually what I class as my backyard. It's only an hour and a half from where I live, and these are the places that I come to more often than any other. Although having said that, I haven't been to this one for about 2 years. Now this week, I'm just going to have a chilled week, going around my favourite park-ups and seeing which ones have been closed and which ones are still open. Up to now, there's been 3 that have been closed. Such a shame. But if you're a regular, you might recognise some of the locations. Actually not all of them, because I will be going to some new ones. And if you're new to the channel, they might all be new. This is a cracker, it's one of my favourites. This was a bit of a spur of the moment trip. I'm not as well prepared as I normally am. I haven't brought my paddleboard, I haven't brought most of the cameras, I've brought no microphones, and it's a bit breezy, so I hope the sound is alright on this clip. The only thing I've brought is my phone and the drone, and I haven't flown the drone for ages, so that might be a laugh. Hello.
Hello.
Well, I'm just a bit further round the coast. I've walked round to the tops of the cliffs here to have a look out to sea. Now I know it's a vast ocean, but there was 3 orcas spotted just round the corner 4 days ago, so I'm keeping my eyes open. Hiya.
Hi.
And just to be sure, I've seen a video of it, but just to be sure, I had a quick word with the lifeguards, and half expecting them to say no, you don't get orcas here, But to my surprise, they said yes, they've seen them. And they also said there was a minke whale in that bay that you can see behind me, and it came right into the bay and stayed for 5 or 6 hours just a couple of days ago. So I'm going to be around here for a couple of days, so fingers crossed. I'm going to get a nice view just round the corner, and that's roughly where the orcas were spotted, I think. I'll show you when I get there. It's such a vast sea. There's always going to be a large element of luck involved. Right place, right time, looking in the right direction. But we can only try. This is the view I mentioned. It's gone a bit overcast, but it's still a lovely view. And just round there, round that corner, that's where the orcas were spotted the other day. Well, I'm happy to say it looks like campervans are still allowed to park here. Well, I moved up the coast a little bit and spent last night here, and another lovely place. That's Bass Rock distance, and I've just been watching some seals playing in the bay there, but they're not there now. I'm going to move on tonight. Don't do it. Don't do it. Too late. Well, you can't get much closer to the sea than that. When the tide's in, that is. This is another favourite spot of mine where I like to come with a camper van, and this was one of the spots that I said earlier in the video was rumoured to be closed now. Well, I'm delighted to say it was only a rumour and it's still open for camper vans. As I say, one of my favourite spots. Always friendly, always feels safe. I love it here. I hope the sound quality's alright because there's a bit of a wind blowing. I'm on the top of a cliff. But it is nearly 7 o'clock at night and it's still lovely and warm. I'm moving on tomorrow. Well, this is another place I know very well. I've actually been coming here since I was a child. I used to come here with my mum and dad. We watched the salmon boats fishing just off this bit here. Got a stone in my shoe. Lovely views of the bridges and the mouth of the river. I thought it would have made a lovely shot with a drone, getting the bridges in the background, but as soon as I put the drone up, seagulls came from everywhere, squawking and attacking the drone. So they would have took the drone out, so this is the best I can do, I'm afraid. Still a nice view though. Well, what do you think of this for a deserted beach? There's hardly anybody on it. This is one of the new places I was talking about at the start of the video. I've never videoed here before. And the tide is out at the minute. When the tide comes in, well, you wouldn't be standing here when the tide is in. It comes right up to the sand dunes. The sea's normally crystal clear, and it's normally sheltered. Today it's very warm, but it's a little bit breezy. Lovely. I forgot to mention, this is a daytime park up, strictly no overnight stays on this beach or sand dunes. It's a lovely place to come for the day though. Well, somebody doesn't want me to fly my drone today. Look at the sea fret. It's only a couple of minutes since I've done the last clip. I put the drone up and the sea fret went pew, and it's a bit windy, so I've had to knock it on the head. I'm going to be here for a while. If the sea fret clears, I'll maybe try again. Well, it's been a strange sort of a day. That sea fret's hung around all day. It's cleared, then came back, and cleared, and came back. You can see it now right along the horizon. I'll show you in a second. Today was supposed to be the peak of the heat wave. Well, I've been away over a week now, and today's been the worst day as far as the weather goes. So it's still too windy. It's still too windy for the little drone, but the tide should be in now, so at least I can give you a shot of the beach with the water in. Can you see the cloud on the horizon? That's hung around all day, and periodically swept in and then swept out again. But I don't know, can you see the beach? It's I think it's high tide around now. So I'm going to move on shortly. Too many people for me.